Hello everyone. So if you've been waiting for it, here it is. Lots of beautiful charms for journals, journal jewelry made from, you guessed it, scraps of paper, chipboard, stickers, etc. And I'm going to show you how I made these today. And then at the end, we'll take a closer look at these beautiful charms. We've got all kinds of things from pieces of old jewelry to beads to actual charms and much, much more. Let's get into seeing how we make this. Okay, let's make a charm. And first, let's start with gathering scraps, the supplies. We're going to need some scrap chipboard. Now you can use chipboard, varying weights. You can use packaging. This is some packaging, cereal box, etc. But if you're going to use something lighter, like thinner, you might want to double it up to make it a thicker charm. Now I have, and you want to cut it down to, you can use, if you have small scraps, you can just use the size that you have. Or if you have a certain sticker you want to use, you can use that. I have these scraps left from a myriad of charms, but we're going to go ahead and take this little size here for this on-camera example. This scrap is about 1 1/4 by 1 5/8, I think that is. So it doesn't really matter. Because these are a little bit thinner, I am going to just glue, double them up. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm just using a glue stick here. You can use whatever adhesive of your choice for this part. There's a lot of variation available in this technique. So I'm going to press these together, and you know, a helpful tool for this and lots of these kind of paper crafting is a bone folder or something to just give you some of that pressure to get a good contact and adhesion. That's step one, and you wouldn't have to do that if you had a thicker chipboard. So now we need some more scraps. So for this one, I've got just a tray of different paper scraps as an example. And for all these charms I'm going to show you, and that you saw a little bit earlier, there's a variety of ways in which I have covered up the chipboard portion. You could even take some scrap or leftover acrylic paint. I would suggest acrylic just to give it that sealed surface. Otherwise, you could prep this chipboard with gesso and do leftover watercolor, all kinds of things. Of course, watercolor is not going to be sealed, and then if you go on with glue or something, it might move. Keep in mind that. But yeah, so let's cover up the chipboard part with something. Now for this one, I have some scrap, or should I say leftover stickers, and you can use that too to cover that. I think I don't want to just entirely rely on the sticker adhesive, so I'm going to add a little bit of this glue stick first. And I had kind of my eye on this one here because I really like that floral pattern. Uh-oh, it's not quite big enough that direction, so and then the words are in the way there. Well, you know what? Since I still want to use this, I'm going to set it aside and pick something plain that could be a nice background. Let's go with some scrap of lined paper because I didn't want the chipboard showing through. For some reason, I thought that was going to fit, but I guess I got that one wrong. Good, because it can show you some more options. We'll trim off the excess here. And at this point, these might be done, these scraps, but I keep lots of tiny scraps if they have any kind of potential until I run out of space for them. But that's why you got to keep using them so that you don't run out of space for them. So I think I'm going to trim. I don't want the words in the way. Hopefully I cut that straight. We might save that because that could decorate it later. And think I want to figure out, yeah, let's see. I should cut this here. Saving this also, just in case. I want to use it on the other side. Does that look like... I don't know if that's perfectly straight, but that's what happens. I think I'm going to add just... Whoops, I already took the cap off, silly. A little bit of glue there. Now, for these charms, I did seal them also. And another thing, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, when I went and did all that, here, I have an idea. Who says that this scrap has to be this size? You know what? I'm just going to shrink it. We're going to leave that paper on there, but here's another opportunity for using this sticker. And let me grab this, and we can just trim it down to the size we want. Okay, in case you're interested, now my scrap is just a smidgen over 1 inch wide by about just about a little over 1.5 inches. And you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. Now this is nice. Let me see if... I'll move this aside. If there's anything, another sticker that I might want to cover it with. I don't have a lot of this left. I don't have a lot of this left, but that matches perfectly. But I have this piece of sticker. So why not stick it on the other side? It coordinates perfectly. If you have scraps of planner stickers or any kind of sticker sheet that has, you know, coordinating, or paper pads, then you don't even have to think about whether the colors match well enough, because they were designed to coordinate. Okay. Uh-oh. What'd you do that for? And, you know, you can decorate both sides of the charm, or you can, you know, leave one more plain as the back side of it. It's completely up to your preference. I think that I decorated a lot of them both sides, but I think there's a couple that I left rather plain on one side. And, oh, look at this. Before I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, you want, at this point, to bring in all kinds of scrap, stickers, anything tiny. We have so many options here. It's easy to get carried away and make too many. In fact, I got a little carried away. And another little scrap sticker item is any tiny stickers or even paper. This is from a paper pad where you cut out for the words for sentiment. I have lots of those. Have those ready on hand. And also, if you have any, this is from a paper pad, tiny images. This cute record player was looking pretty awesome. I wonder, I think it's too big now. So we're going to scrap that idea, but I think I was thinking, oh, it just coordinates. I think it goes together. No, we're going to set that aside. Actually, I'm just thinking the little things are often the biggest things. This sentiment might fit quite nicely if I trim it down a little. Let me see. Okay. I like that because it coordinates so well. I wonder if we can, here's an idea. Maybe cut a little banner in this side. You know what it needs? An outline. I wonder if I can do this. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing here because I can't really tell. let's just use a pen and give it a little outline to make it stand out more. You can also do this with an ink pad. I just grabbed a pen because it's easier to get hold of since I don't have the ink pads out right now. Although I should, because I did a lot of inking. Inked my finger great. And for this one, the black coordinates with the black of the sentiment. And actually, while I've got this out, maybe I want to outline the sentiment too. Right on the paper. Oops. Helps if you can draw straight. This, I believe, is a permanent ink pen. So when I go to seal this, say with Mod Podge or any kind of wet sealer, it's not going to be a problem. Now, I need to find, I would like to put maybe a tiny something in either corner. The other thing you can do is ink the edges. I even painted the edges with, let me show you this up close, acrylic paint. So I think black would be good with this one. And let me see what I have for tiny stickers or images. I really want to put a butterfly on there. Okay, we are well into the realm of tiny with this particular charm here. So I have this tiny butterfly punch, and I was thinking this might be the easiest way to get a butterfly on there since I don't seem to have the tiniest butterfly around. Now, oh, I could use that same... Actually, I didn't check here either. Let me make sure. I wonder if this heart is too big. Oh, it's cute. Whoops. Actually, when you change your mind, the sticker can be lifted. I've got my Dollar Tree pokey tool helping me out. I want that down first, and I have an even tinier pen because I don't want it to get lost in here. We're working tiny details here. Alright, we got that on there. And there's some shinier ones. I'm just making sure I don't have, these are from some other set. I don't have a butterfly, but I do have a butterfly punch. What would be a good color there? I mean, we could do black. Might stand out, but black's kind of boring. What about this polka dot? I could punch right through there. Well, let's try it. And see. Oh, he's so tiny. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, yeah, I like it. And I think a black one would go well also. We don't need much of a scrap here. I'm sure I have even smaller ones, but let's just do this one. Okay. Ah, there we go. Maybe that's... Boop. Okay. I think I like that. So let's go ahead and put that down. We have to get this. This one's a sticker, so that's gonna be fun. There, and Alright, here is how this side is looking currently. And now, at some point, and we can decorate this side if we want. I might find a butterfly or something to put on there. But for right now, before I go any further, I want to make sure I have room for a hole. And I wasn't thinking about that. So, you can put your hole anywhere you want, really, for your charm. Why is this so short? I'm gonna do right here, because I want actually, well, you can't really put it anywhere, but you want enough of the edge for it not to compromise the structural integrity. So you need to have just a little bit. I'd say, what do we have here? You know, at least 1/8 of an inch or a little more. But you don't want it to be so far that you can't get your tool in there either. And at this point, if you have it, this is not absolutely necessary, but if you have eyelets, that's what I've done with most of my charms, I believe, is reinforce the hole with eyelets. And I have quite a little collection here, so I can choose a color even. I'm kind of liking this soft pink color for this one. And for a lot of them I did black, because I have a lot of black and there's black accents in a lot of the charms. But we'll give this one a little bit of color. And I have the crocodile here, which is a handy tool for this kind of thing. And so then you put a little eyelet in. Give it a good squeeze, and whoop, now we have a reinforced hole. Well, I went in search of butterflies, and of course, wouldn't you know, I've got butterflies everywhere, but I can't seem to find the butterflies right now, so I did, however, find this little sticker that I'm fussy cutting out right now. I don't want this blue part. So I'm going to cut it real close. The turquoise is perfect. We're taking the label off. It came from probably the same planner sticker book. And I was thinking, I just want a little something on this side. Ooh, and I forgot about this lovely little part. Let's use some of this, because it coordinates with the other side as well. Well, let's just put it on the bottom half. And we'll just trim off the extra. At that point, I think I can say that is able to be recycled there. So, that's nice. I like that, because we've got the 2 stickers on both sides. And then I have this one. But I was thinking, I might like to bring out some more of this yellow. I didn't use a whole lot over there, but we got the heart going on. So I could do that, or I could do the flower, which also coordinates. Let me take it off and see. I think this yellow is a little bit bright. It's a little too much. I don't remember where I got it. Over here. So I think for this side, to decorate this side, I kind of want to do that. But this doesn't stand out enough, does it? Well, let's just try to go around it with the pin and see if we don't ruin it. I hope not. That's not too bad. It's not amazing, but... And it's just the back side. So we have that. And, you know, we've got this guy. Should we do one more flower, or one more, what do you call this? Butterfly. One more butterfly. And why don't we do it in the polka dot? Because I already punched into this one. So, let's see. I like that. I'm gonna go with it. Oops. Doesn't stand out too much, but... And then I need to paint the sides of here because I wanted to seal it in that way. This is some acrylic gouache, which works pretty much the same way as regular acrylic paint. So I'm gonna use that. I gotta find a paintbrush. So I'm just dipping into my little reservoir here. There's a gap in between the papers, which I can kind of fill up with the paint. Because it's acrylic, it should harden. But, you know, it's imprecise. So we're going to go ahead and do all 4 of these sides. Maybe I'll speed that up. Focus. There we go. I got a little too much on this side, but how I'm going to fix that is just actually to add a little more so that it looks a little distressed and give it that rough look. This isn't the focal side anyway, so it's okay. It's not ideal, but so if you're doing the paint method, be careful. You know, I was being careful. And just know that if you're checking both sides, you can maybe kind of wipe it away with water because this is acrylic gouache. It will thin out and stuff, but I didn't see it until it was pretty well dry. So I'm just going to add a little extra on this side to kind of compensate for that. And this is a distressed look anyway, so it's okay. But I just thought I'd mention that. And then also beware, you know, look, I've made a huge mess. It's on my hands, so be careful. I need some water to clean that up. I'm going to actually pick this up here. Let's pick it up like that. There. So here is this side. And what I'm going to do now is seal it. With most of them, I sealed it with Mod Podge first, and then I went in with a polyurethane spray sealer, which was quite the process because it's not quite warm. It has to be a certain temperature, and boy, I had to wait till late afternoon till it even got to that temperature. This one, I'm just going to seal it with some Mod Podge and then wait to do that and maybe not show you that final step, but you'll see it in the charms, what they look like. So let's move on from Alright, for the next stage of the charm making, you're going to need something that attaches the charm. I used up a lot of stuff. I used safety pins. These are, I have some of these kind, and then the bulb pins, key rings. I got this off Amazon. These are actually 2 separate things. There's a keyring set that had all these key rings in it, and then I had bought this ball and chain set separately. And so there's a variety of ways. I also happen to have these little lobster clasps in my stash, so I actually took one of the chains from one of the key rings and this lobster clasp for this particular one. You're also going to need some tools, or at least it's handy to have some tools, jewelry making tools for this portion. I just have, you know, these cutters. I have needle nose type pliers. They have a cutter part too. And then I have these ones, and I actually have a smaller pair. Sometimes some of the rings are really tight. I got this set of jump rings, probably off Amazon at some point. And I think we're going to use this one. So these are pretty strong. Uh-oh. And that's where the pliers come in handy. So pull it out a little, and then we're going to hook it on. Maybe need to pull it just a little further. There, I got that part on. And then if it's wide enough, a little bit wider, can hook it right through the eyelet. Hopefully that's going to focus there. You see that? And then if you're strong enough, you can, so this one's not too strong. So sometimes the ring is so strong that I find it helpful to have a second pair to hold on to and open it and close it that way. Alright, now another fun part is to decorate or embellish. Now you could just leave this charm just like this. You can add some scraps of fabrics, which I did in some of them. For this one, I'm going to bring in the lovely collection of charms. I bought a set of charms off Amazon that came with gold and silver, a variety of different items such as butterflies, animals, symbols. They are pretty bright. So, you know, they're shiny gold and shiny silver, but it worked for the most part, and I'm not too, you know, fussy about mixing the metals. These three kind of antique brass ones I had in my stash, and then I've also had, you know, some other things for my stash. I do have a stash of beads to work from as well. However, a great way to get beads to use in your projects is maybe looking at garage sales, sometimes thrift stores, but lately my thrift shop has sticker shock even there. Inflation has hit the thrifting, and I just, for a maybe and to take apart a jewelry, you know, it wasn't worth it. But I think you can find some more scrappy pieces at garage sales for very inexpensive. And so when you're at something like that, look and see if it's not like maybe your style or whatever, if there might be parts of it that you could use and use for different things. So I have pulled out a couple charms. I got this, it looks like a little fairy maybe. I was thinking butterfly, but I think I used up all the silver butterflies, and I was gonna go with silver even though I don't have to match it. And then I have a peace symbol. The saying on here, the little things are often the biggest things. That piece is pretty big. And then I have a bunch of different sizes of jump rings. I think I'm going to use this, not the smallest one, but the second to the smallest one, to put the charms on. What I want to do is kind of space them out. And I can't close that, darn. There we go. I think I'll start with the fairy. And, well, I drop things a lot. Let's ignore that part. Now, I think the little ones, they're the ones that are really tough. At least from this set. I have some other ones that aren't. So here's what I was talking about with 2 pairs of pliers to be able to pull them apart. I'm gonna slip. Sometimes you have to move it down. Slip it on there, and of course I can't even get close enough, can I, for you to see. There it is. Grab my second pair. Hopefully I'm staying focused here. It's hard to do while staying on camera. There we go. And move it to where they meet up. That's pretty solid. I might just move it a little more. And then you can go in and squeeze too there. I don't know if these are jewelry making techniques, it's just how I do it. So I got my little fairy on the main ring there, and then I think I want to make some beads also. I have, what is this? I am not 100% sure what this pin is called. It might be called the head pin. So I have some of these. They're pretty short, but these ones I can make a little dangle with. I'm going to take this kind of pinkish one. This bead is mainly because this bead, which came off, if you want to see, I think I had made a pair of earrings and then it broke or something, so that's where I got this bead from a pair of earrings. Uh-oh, it's too tall. Plan B. Okay, so this one's way too long. I need to get some other options, but there will be a little bit of waste on this one. But it's what I have, if I can get it in there. So my small bead is going to keep the large bead from falling off the pin. There you go. I need to cut it shorter. I feel like between, what is this, maybe a quarter to, whoa, 3/8 of an inch is good. You just need enough space to be able to make the end on here. So I start to curl it, And then I take my needle nose pliers, send them out to the wider section, and then curl it some more. It's imprecise, at least for me. I'm sure that people that make jewelry on a regular basis have more of a precise method, but this works. I'm just making a little dangle for my jewelry charm. So I want to put this somewhere in the middle. I don't want them to interfere with each other, and I don't want to have to change it too much, because the more you manipulate the metal, the more it compromises it. So try to figure out where you want it beforehand, but believe me, I have definitely opened and closed the same ring a few times, because I'm like, oh shoot, I don't really want it there. And then I've closed this up, so we've got a fairy, we've got a bead, and let's put this on here as well. I could hang this from the large part, or I could hang it here. I think I'm going to hang it from this medium ring that's hanging from the large one, and can go in here and just, and there we go. So I think I'm going to call this one done. I could definitely add more, but I don't think I want to just yet. And this is this charm, and I will go ahead, clean up this mess, and show you all of the charm. Alright, so here is part of a selection of all the charms I made. I'm going to highlight a couple of them and just talk about some of the differences. And actually, I think I will zoom in. Hopefully you can see a little better. That's about as close as I can get. And yeah, because there's a lot going on. So these ones up here on the top are the pin ones. I have just two, I think. Just two with the bulb pins. And this one right here, so the bulb pin, you don't have as much room to add like I like to add. This is a vintage button here, you can see, so that's kind of a unique one. And then I have just a scrap of some vintage lace on the back there. This one's pretty simple and the easiest. You don't need I didn't use any tools for this one other than the eyelet tool, which is optional. But you don't need beading tools. You don't need the jump rings, because this little button already has a shank there, and I just slipped this charm right onto the pin. So that's a good one for if you don't already have like beading tools. And again, here's another with the bulb pin. The reason I only did a couple of them is because I have all the beading tools and I wanted to add more and more and more. Again, this is a button right through the hole there. I have a scrap of some trim there, and this is a scrap of fabric that I've stamped onto. And then we have this one. I did have a bead dangle. You could use a piece of jewelry if you didn't have the tools. I made this bead dangle, and then I have the little tiny spool charm on the bottom there. Then we have these pin ones. Again, they can be done with the least amount of tools. I have an actual scrap of a bow here that I've stuck on this one, and the charm is just slipped on to the pin. You can add bead dangles, lots of options there. Let me see if I can scoot over. I like this one on the image here. Can you see it's like a little girl with a doll, so it kind of had mothering vibes going. And so the little charm is a little girl and a little heart with some fabric scraps tucked on the back. Now this little bow, I just added some glue so it doesn't untie itself, and then slipped it on there. This I like the message here was thankful, so I found a little acorn charm, seemed appropriate there, and some scraps of fabrics on the back. With this scrap of ribbon, I used some fabric glue to hold it together, and then I actually slipped a jump ring through it to attach it. You could just poke a hole if you didn't have the jump ring. Let me see here. This one has another, a bow that I tied, and again I glued the bow so that it doesn't untie, and then just a little bead. This piece right here was from a broken necklace, and so I got lots of charms out of that. Lots of bead dangles out of that. And this is a scrap of trim, some sari silk scrap, and another ribbon scrap that I put on there. Moving over here, these ones are the ones that I did a bunch with. These ones I had circle punched out, and they're not even super thick, but they are thick enough with the layers and with the sealing process. So these ones I made a lot of these with the ball and chain, and I just would use, you do need something to snip, like a tin snip, or I don't even know what the ones I have are called, but to snip the ball and chain where you want. So I made these about 3 inches, and then it has this connector piece. And so these can be hung on anything that you know, open it up and can slip it onto. And there's a variety of charms that I've added to those. You can kind of see there, some of them, well, most of them are double-sided. Like this side, I just have a button sticker. Oh look, this one has some dictionary page and some vellum, and then stickers and paper. Oh, I forgot to mention, this one actually has a tassel left over. I tied it a little shorter on this side. If I went through each of these individually, it probably would take all day maybe. So hopefully this is enough of a look at the different ones. Oh man, these are so fun to make and to decide the different charms. Then another option here is I made a bunch of keyring ones also, which can be hung in a variety of places. That don't maybe go as easily on a journal, but you could clip it on. But this is just kind of another option. And this one, I think it's pretty cool. So I had, here's another button that I slipped a jump ring through. It's like a pearl button. And then beads here. This one that has the vintage sticker, looks like a playing card. And another style, oh wait, let me mention this one. This one, it looks, I just had this tiny sticker that said Lucky, and then this tiny little sticker of 4-leaf clovers, which inspired this one, which has the ruler on the back. And so turtles are green, so I put a turtle charm on there, and then I had a green butterfly, and then there was even a 4-leaf shamrock in my little charm assortment, so that was a fun one. Another variety of way to hang it. This one, I think I showed earlier how it opens. These are some Tim Holtz ones, and then they have the chain where you can add different things on, and here I've added scraps of fabric on the top there and just like 3 little charms to each of these ones, and these can hang if you have any kind of spine or thing on a journal to hang it. Then we have some more keyring ones. This is a smaller version of that hook. I don't know what this is called. I'm sorry, my lack of words there. And then here's another keyring one with it's a little longer. Slide it over here. I love this one. This is a very vintage image that I cut out of a magazine from maybe the 30s or something. And I think I have it backed onto some book page, a washi sticker. Really cute, that whole thing. And it's on one of these connectors with some vintage lace trims and things, some bead here, and then the little crown charm and the rose charm. That's fun. Here we have a heart, a key, a lock, this side, and even the tiniest scraps were used, making little charms here, this side, and here's another tinier one that I did on the tiny key ring. Here is an oval shaped one I wanted to use. I had this sticker that's oval shaped, and so, but it was a little harder because I couldn't punch it out with the punch. And then these are so cute. These are the lobster clasp one. I'm not sure if I showed this earlier, but the the lobster clasp option with some charms, beads, this little guy. So I think you can kind of have seen all of the different versions here. This is lovely, this side. This one actually has a large metal key on it. It's a little heavy, but it works with this more solid chain dangle. Now there are, let me show you a different variety. Where did I put that? This little section of them have some, I use some magnets to hold these in place. There's some extras here, but this is a different option for the ones. Some of them I honestly did forget about where I was going to put the hole, and some of them I put just 2 eyelets in to hang it in a different way. And so there's a few of those, and then I did like a charm on each side. And this is the sticker of that one. Maybe, you know what, maybe my thinking was because this sticker is laid out in a landscape orientation. Maybe that's why I decided to do it that way. But yeah, I think it might be. But that is a different option. It hangs a little differently with this ball and chain. So yeah, I'm not sure if I love it that way yet, but you can decide for yourself. But man, these are super cute. This is another piece from an old necklace that it shows some aging spots, but you know, these are reclaimed items here, upcycled. So I don't have any qualms for using those. Here's another cute one. I really like how this one turned out with the coloring. I happen to have, oops, I'm out of frame. Oh boy, this rose bead that I turned into a dangle. Really pretty. And then this charm I had, the 5 is just, it's pretty. Oh, that's why it's a 5. It's a 5 on this side too. So maybe if 5 is significant for someone, that'll be a great one. A little fabric scrap here, some hearts, butterfly, bead. I love this one too. This is another, I'm not sure where this little heart, shiny heart came from, but it sure looks cute there. And then I have some beads, and then this was a stamped image that I had in my scrap bin that I'd stamped and cut out. There's both sides there. This is I think this is a vellum piece from Your Creative Studio. Moving on, we have some more. Of course we have more. I'm just gonna show these. I have them on trays so you can kind of have a look. Oh, here's another different one with the long skinny scrap and the sticker there. I like this one. This one has just a little piece of chain, and then this used to have a sticker on it. I took that off and slipped a jump ring through it to attach it there. Works out quite nicely. Are there any other special ones I want to... They're all special, don't get me wrong. See if there's anything else. I don't know. You know? A lot of them have a similar, the vintage sticker. I think it was a Tim Holtz pack of thicker type stickers. Many of these have the ruler on the one side. And yeah, so I had a lot of fun with that set. This is a cute one with, again, that little black rose bead. This little tiny sticker. If you have tiny stickers, this is a fun way to use them. I am telling you. So there's that. Oh, I liked this one a lot too. I like them all. They're like my little creations. This was a favorite piece of scrap paper that I've had in my bin. And then I did this little dangle, made that bead thing, and I attached the little crown on there. And finally, we have one last little tray of examples. Again, really love how this one turned out. There was a charm in my pack that said made with love, and it's a heart. I hope you can see that. So of course I put that on this one. This sticker says one of a kind. It's a chipboard sticker, and that is super appropriate for this little charm. They're all one of a kind, of course. See, there's another one of those butterflies, and Let's see. Oh, I like how this one turned out too. I had these stickers, note to self, the blues, that's what I was going with here. And, yep. Oh, and look. I even planned that out, I guess. So this one's a fountain pen vintage ad sticker. Gotta have the pencil on there. There's a little theme there. I don't know, the feathers loose connection there. And yeah, super fun. I hope you guys will try it and turn some chipboard scraps into charms. Let me know in the comments, did you see one as a favorite? Are you going to try to make some charms? And as always, thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and creative day. Bye!